Okay, I am live and on camera now. Let's tell the Discord crew Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope everyone's well. I know it's Christmas Day. For me, it's 9:30 in the morning, and I've been up for quite a while. And I just had this kind of boundless energy today, and so I just thought I'd do a chill stream because I think it's going to be a quiet day for a lot of people, and I just wanted to have some fun, get a few things done, chat with whoever's online, which I'm not expecting a huge crowd or anything, but I wanted to, really the primary purpose of this stream was I know what happens today. Lots of people are unpacking their tablets and they're having problems. Things aren't connecting, they can't see something on the screen, pressure's not working. So this is my attempt just to be out there prepared for what's happening. And I saw some people were having problems on Reddit. Maybe we'll take a look at some of those questions they have. Other than that, we'll chill. This is just a chill stream. You may notice the title of this stream is Intuos3 and Chill, and that's because that's what we're going to do today. We're actually going to try an old tablet. We're going to actually try using the old drivers for it, and we'll see if we have to use Open Tablet Driver. We'll see how it works. Intuos3 is... actually, do I have it here? Yeah, I have it here. Hang on. There's several variations of this. But which one is this? This is the PTZ 631W. So it's a bit one of the wider ones. Now for you, it probably doesn't look too unusual, but we'll talk some of the interesting features here. This was... it's really unique in Wacom's lineup, and we'll talk more about that. You know, just the way it looks, the look and feel, and it's a little bit of a one of a kind in Wacom land, because it's a sharp break from the Intuos 2, and Intuos 4 was quite different. I mean, in just obvious physical ways. We'll get into that. Okay, let me put this by the side, because I just realized what we're missing, which is music. Oh man, where is my music? Background, generic jazz. There we go. Oh, I love when this music kicks in. Okay. Like I said, we are not really expecting any huge crowd or anything today, but I wanted to make sure I was available for people who are having problems. Okay, while I'm doing that, since no one is here, I can take a little bit of time. I'm going to clean things up. I'm going to reboot my Windows machine, which is the demo machine, and clean up this desk a little bit. Still a little bit disordered from my Canvas Canvas Pro 24 Gen 3 unboxing and testing. Oh, that was fun. That was a fun session. Okay, I'm just gonna have to close all these windows, aren't I? Oh man, we'll talk about more than tablets today. That's for sure. Let's see. We had a really fun stream a couple months ago about movies, sci-fi movies. So maybe we'll do a little bit of movie talk, right? Oh, and I'll share with you, I'm starting a new channel, which should go live on the 1st, actually, of 2026. And it's about communication, and I am just all over the place on what the name of it should be. Oops, Scott! I forgot! No. I forgot to put the announcements. Okay. Okay, let's try. Thank you, Koyo. Thank you, Koyo. Okay, trying again. Let's see. I will learn. In the meanwhile, placed. We have an announcement channel in the Discord. I'm trying to remember to use it instead of just. We have a ping, what do you call it? An @ sign for pinging people, but also we want to make sure people see it in the announcements. So, added one now. Added right there now. Okay, so Windows is telling me it wants to update this PC. I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. That'll give me some time to set up some other things. So let's go ahead and do that. Download it. What is it? Windows 11 version 25H2. Nothing can go wrong with a random Windows update. Christmas Day, as I'm trying to do a demo, right? Okay. So I'm going to go install that. Okay, it's downloading, so we'll just let that continue. Gonna have to do a little bit of a cleanup because I have to uninstall the Huion driver. Then we're gonna go through the actual process, which is really, if you had to use the Intuos3 today, what would it be like? And maybe we'll and what we'll do is we'll actually try the last supported Wacom driver, see what happens. It's been so long since I've tried an old Wacom driver on a modern version of Windows that I'm really curious what will happen. I don't know if it's going to run. I don't know if it's going to work correctly or not. As always, I recommend people use the latest drivers because what I have seen is that over years, applications, for example, I knew someone who was using Photoshop, but this is a couple years ago, and I think the buttons on the pen were not working, and the reason eventually she discovered was she didn't have the latest driver. And that was with Photoshop. It seemed to be working in other applications. Why it was specific to Photoshop, I don't know. But I generally do advise using the latest driver. Right? Eventually you're going to have to, for all sorts of reasons. Primarily driven, I think, due to the fact that applications need to update. When Windows updates, sometimes Windows can change something in how APIs work. Hey, Mir, good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. We're just setting up here. We're going to do an Intuos3 demo. Not demo, we're going to actually use it. We're going to test it as if it was a new tablet. And I'll talk a little bit about... normally I just do testing of tablets, but this time I'm going to talk about what... Mir, you're killing me. I did not try local send yet. It's been busy. I've been busy. But I will try. It is on my to-do list. But this week has been filled with setting up another PC. It's been filled with just other stuff. But thanks for joining. Okay, while I'm waiting for this Windows machine. Oh, it says it actually installed and it's pending a restart, so let's do it. I'm restarting my demo machine, so the stream is unaffected. I'm sorry, Mir. I'm so sorry. Good news this morning. Someone left the server recently, and I'm trying to encourage them to come back. So that's Skitsy Ascot. So I sent a little Christmas message and received a reply. So that's good. I just want everyone to have fun on the server. Let's stay one big happy family. Let's see. Mir says, I've been busy too, mainly with family, study, and Christmas stuff. Yeah, it's, yeah, I definitely will try. I really do want to experiment with these things. And it's actually also related to my new channel because part of my new channel's focus is on productivity. And one of the things we have to do for productivity is like deal with sending files to, I have a lot of machines. In fact, literally right now this is across several rooms in my house. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different computers that are on right now. 6 different Windows, 6 Windows, 1 Mac. No, sorry, 7. There's 7. Why there are 7, it's hard to explain at this moment. It's just that I have multiple desks, and I sort of have one set of machines for like 7-pen stuff, and one set of machines for like day-to-day living, which means doctor's appointments and things. So I keep those on separate accounts, separate machines, right? Okay, Windows rebooted. There we go. Oh yeah, I did move over. Where am I? There we go. Hey, you know what, Mir? I'm so glad you brought up the Galmon. So it turns out I was checking my email yesterday, and the I don't want to say the delivery was canceled. So I was wondering why it was taking so long. I looked, and it said the shipment was started. Whoever UPS had it, but then it said there was a problem with the shipment and it was canceled, and I was refunded. So I don't have my Galmon, so I have to reorder it and figure out what happened there. I'm so disappointed because actually that was something I wanted to do this week. I do want to give away my Galmon S620, but I literally have no drawing friends. I do, but not in real life. Well, I understand that. Except for friends in the same country. I am in a little bit of a similar position here. Because in my personal life, nobody I know uses a drawing tablet. Not one of my friends is at all. And I don't think anyone in my family uses a drawing tablet, or frankly cares about digital art in any way. So, I sometimes want to, I just have no one sometimes to talk to personally. So that's why I rely on the Discord and everyone on YouTube and chat. The Galmon was too good for the delivery. They couldn't handle it. Yes, they were afraid I would have too much power if I had the Galmon. That is true. Okay, the machine rebooted almost. Well, it is rebooted. Let me just clean up a few things. I'm in a good mood. Oh gosh, how do I clean things up? Whenever I start the stream, I clean up anything on my browsing history, etc. Custom range. Oh, not custom. Just delete all. Delete. Oh, we have a new visitor here. Let's see. Hi, can I ask how is the activation distance of the nib to notice pressure in ProPen 3? I mean with my Intuos 4, like the nib's a bit loose. I mean distance. More to kind of, don't worry about your language. Just let me think about what you're asking here. I think you're asking, how far does the nib have to move before it's activated in a ProPen 3? I think that's what you're asking. I've never measured it. Obviously the nib does travel, but I don't think it has to move very far to activate. You're in Intuos 4, that means you're using the KP501 Wacom grip pen. We might be able to test that out in the stream. But it shouldn't have to move far. I mean, how can I say this? The nib, how can I say? I have a bunch of Intuos3 pens here. Now, it's hard to tell nib for nib. I have seen tablets. Theoretically, a nib should isn't always touching, I guess, the pressure sensor, but this looks like it's not moving at all. I mean, it'll move in if I press, I think, but it's slight. We'll test it. I mean, I have seen in my memory, I've seen pens where the nib, if you hold it, the pen like this, where the nib is, it's clearly it's fallen down a little bit, and in that sense, there's a little bit of travel before it hits the pressure sensor. But this is like something in my memory, not something that I really strongly remember in the recent amount of time. Like, could have been years ago that I've even paid attention. There's lots of times there's something going on with the tablet where it's happening, but I haven't paid attention in a while. So we can try that out. Okay, one more thing I gotta clean up here. Clean up. That's a good question, Mir. Is it related to hovering? So, I am not sure. So, Mordekainer, if you could tell us more about. Basically, the second, because these pens have such low IAF, you shouldn't notice anything. But yeah, in my memory, I think of some nibs historically might have been a little loose. Yeah, I'm not totally sure, Mir. That's why I think we need a little bit of extra explanation to figure this one out. Okay, let me get rid of a few things here and turn down my own volume. Okay, so let's talk. Actually, let me kick something in motion and we'll talk. I'm going to uninstall the Huion driver. Albert, thanks for joining us. Hope everyone's having a good Christmas. I was trying to find a Christmas hat. I think I have a Christmas hat somewhere, but I can't find it. The closest thing I have to Christmas, something that's red and white, is a. It's like a. You know that game they play in Europe, football, soccer. And they have those scarves. I have a scarf that's red and white, but it has nothing to do with Christmas. But it looks like it has to do with Christmas. It's actually like it's a scarf of Poland. So it's red and white, obviously. That's the colors of Poland. The national colors, red and white. I would make a good Santa Claus. Yeah, I think so. I've got the roly-poly face. Though, if you've been watching, my health has gotten better. I've actually lost quite a bit of weight since last year. I'm down 40 pounds. Can you believe it? So, this year I just want to double down on that. There's so many benefits of just staying healthy. I encourage everyone to do it. Even I notice it. Let's see. Press the eraser button. Let's see. Mordekainer says. If you press the eraser button with a finger, then press the nib, you notice the eraser moves back. Like the internet circuit has. Yeah. It was a slow going, Albert. It was slow going, but it makes a huge difference. Yeah, as you get older, you think more about health. And I'd have to say, my mom is a doctor, by the way. And so my dad, before he died, was also a doctor. I will say this. I know this is not a health-focused channel. How much you weigh has a disproportionate effect on your health. Okay? It is in your best interest to control your weight as much as possible, especially as you get older. And this gets challenging as you get older because you're less active as you get older. You're just sort of, you're aging, as it turns out. But for me, it's I just wanted to feel a little more healthy again, a little more active, a little more energetic. And as you get older, you'll start noticing not only do you feel a little less active, a little less energetic, that your weight, etc., has all these follow-on effects for health issues, high blood pressure, all these kind of things. So for both reasons, that are aesthetics as well as reasons of health, it's really important you think about that, right? Start early. But yeah, thank you, Albert. Okay, where's this Huion driver? If I had one Christmas wish, it would be that drivers... I don't know, I just want the driver problem on Windows to be fixed, okay? The ideal should be very simple. You plug in a drawing tablet into Windows. I'm 1 year younger than your dad. 1 year younger than your dad. And I am 4 months away from being 55, by the way. Okay, so my Christmas wish, or my wish for drawing tablets, when you take a drawing tablet, you plug it into Windows, and of course Mac OS, it should, quote, just work. I actually believe that Windows should have some basic drawing tablet support. It actually does. It needs to improve that. And I'll tell you why. Now, I'm going to rant, because, I love ranting. Okay, I need to do one more reboot. Mir, I worked out a lot back in the day, but nowadays I do once or twice a week because of studies. I get it. Hey, at least, you know what? Once or twice is good. It's good. I mean, listen, how can I say it? Any value that is better, that is, positive, meaning more than 0, is great. So, good to hear it. Staying active, exercising. But yeah, once, at least you're doing it. You're right. It is so hard to get back in the rhythm. There is a natural tendency in humans to, what's the right word? There's kind of an inertia. And so once you stop doing something, you just sort of, it's easy to sit in that position. Likewise, once you're in a habit, it's easier to stay in the habit. There was a point I was playing hockey 3 times a week and going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. I mean, I used to go work out at the gym, then go play hockey afterwards. That was just wild times. I quit playing hockey though. Partly, it was affecting my sleep because the games are super late at night. Like, the games might end at 11:30 or 11, sometimes close to midnight. And that was then another hour before I got back into bed. And then I couldn't sleep. So that really wore me down after a while. Just the sleep and the travel, because you realize I was spending 3 hours a week just driving to hockey games. Also, I played for, I don't know how many years, well over a decade. And I think I just kind of lost enthusiasm. I don't even watch hockey. Like, I will. I don't have any objection to it. I don't do it very often. You're like a grandpa suddenly blessed us with talent information. Yeah. I'll take it. Let's see. What am I trying to do here? Okay. Let me bring up a website, and then we will talk about things. Hey, that's I sleep 6 to 7 hours a day. I don't know how healthy. That's good. I go between 6 is a lot for me. I will sleep between 4 and 6. Some days are worse. I'm not gonna lie. Some days are like 3, right? But 6 to me feels like it's the best feeling in the world. It's absolutely like I know when I've had 6 hours of sleep and it feels magical. I'm having issues feeling tired even after sleeping 8 or 9 hours. Well, I will tell you this, and I think this is true for a lot of people, but definitely it's true for me. There's an amount of sleep which is too little, which, can weigh you down. But for me, I can survive through that. There's an amount of sleep which is perfect, and for me, that's 5 to 6 hours. For me, is perfect. 6 is like actually the perfect amount for me. And then beyond 6, when it gets to 7, it's tempting to do that. But most of the time at 7 or 8, I feel more worn down. Like I feel tired in the day. Especially if I'm in bed and I wake up and I try to, in my words, I cheat the system by sleeping a little bit longer than I need to. That will make me tired and my muscles will ache. So I think for me, there's a certain amount, which if I get less than that, I'm kind of groggy, but okay. More than that, I'm much more tired, right? Yeah, I'm bad about watching YouTube, real bad. Let's put it this way. Recently, I've been watching a lot of channels. I'll tell you the content in a second. But that stuff is playing, like it's just playing as I'm sleeping. And for hours, because I leave my phone like on my bed, and it's like I know it's in my dreams. I know it's affecting my dreams. Helly says I need 10. Whoa, I couldn't deal with that. 10 is insane for me. The only time I've had 10, I was having. Again, my mom was a doctor. So I said one day, hey, I'm having trouble sleeping. And she gave me something. She gave me Ambien. Okay? Now, I haven't tried Ambien in over a decade. But Ambien, which I don't even know if people even take that anymore. I did have a good sleep. But it was so intense that, let's just say I woke up 8 hours later or 10 hours later. I went to another room. I have a big couch in the other room. And I laid on the couch. And you know, like how do I say this? On a couch, you'd normally be laying with your head on the couch and your torso and your legs on the couch. And the couch is made of leather. It's kind of slippery. So I was so tired, and as like a snake, my head felt kind of slowly drifted off the couch. It's a very slippery couch. So my head is on the floor and my legs are on the couch. I didn't have the energy to change position. I stayed that way for another 3 hours because I just didn't have the mental energy to fix that situation. That's how just wasted I felt on Ambien. So that's the first and last time I tried Ambien. It was just too much. By the way, I had half an Ambien. I didn't have a full dose of it. How about sleeping without alarms? Make your body wake up when it wants to. That's what I do. My body just wakes up when it wakes up. The only thing that makes me wake up is light. Like light will make me energized and wake me up. I have a friend who did all day sleeping. She slept through the night and the entire day. I could never do that. I've never had that experience. Ever. I used to be a volunteer firefighter, and so I bring that topic up because it can be very tiring. One time we had 5 fires in the night, okay? Which is a lot. You don't get 5. And I, even after all of that, I slept 6 hours. And that was like an 8 p.m. to 8 p.m. Or 8 a.m. So that was a 12-hour like thing. 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Yeah, it's crazy. For those of you who don't know, now I was in a volunteer fire department. If the fire, let's put it this way, the fire takes, I don't know, 45 minutes to put out, maybe an hour, okay? But let's just say 45 minutes or an hour. What people don't realize is you drive back to the station, you spend another hour cleaning things. You have to clean the truck. Some departments wax the truck, but we just washed it off. And then you have to clean the hose. So all the hose you take off the truck, you feed it through a machine that with soap and water, and it scrubs off any dirt. You don't want dirt on the hose is covered with a kind of fabric. And if you have dirt on it over time, it can, they say, it'll wear through the fabric. So you don't want that. So you have to clean the hose. And so so every inch of hose that you take off the truck has to go into a cleaning process. Okay. Now my favorite thing was the cleaning. So I would feed it through this machine. Like every inch went through my hands. And then another set of guys will be, that hose, once it's cleaned, will get rolled up and put on, I'm not joking, there's a big oven. And you put it in these trays on the oven, and it sits there, and it's a very, not super warm. It's not hot, it's just warm. It dries out the hose. The hose is wet. So what you have is previously dried hose, and somebody else, another group of people, they put that back on the truck. So that's what. Now, in theory, firefighting is scary, but I never did anything dangerous, to be quite honest, Mir. I more or less did it because it was fun. And it was fun. I did it for I think I went to 40 fires. 40 fires and I think 40 car wrecks, something like that. I counted once. And that was 18 months or 2 years. And then I went to college. Okay. Now we're going to talk finally about Intuos3, now that everything's set up here. So here we go. Oops, I got the tablet in front of me. Let's go bring up my favorite web page. Oh, that's not what. I meant to search here. Intuos3. Yeah, here we go. So this is the PTZ X30 series. Okay? PTZ X30. As if I remember, the Intuos3 is the only Intuos tablet which has the designation PTZ. After this, all we ever saw, I'm talking about professional Wacom tablets, was PTH and PTK. So PTH means professional tablet. H means touch for some reason in Wacom terminology. And then PTK just means professional tablet. K means not touch. Okay. So we had several varieties of this tablet. And this was, I think, the last time Wacom had this many tablets. Let me maximize this so you can see it a bit better. Okay. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different models of the Intuos3. Now, Wacom has had Intuos1, Intuos2. This was Intuos3. And what you'll see with Wacom is they had lots of sizes. Today, we're used to small, medium, large for professional tablets from Wacom. But back then, look at these sizes. 7 different sizes ranging from small to pretty large. This one is 12 by 19. I do have that tablet, by the way. This would be considered an extra large. 6'7", 6'7". And I still don't know the meme. I gotta tell you, I do not know. I just know that people do it or mention it. So back then they called the naming system was Intuos3, and they actually had the size in the name. So the name of the tablet was Intuos3 4x5, meaning inches, right? Which is kind of cool because you knew exactly what you're getting. Now notice some of these are much more square. Like 4x5 is 4x5 aspect ratio is very different from what we're used to today. Like it's not close to 16:9 or even 16:10. So that was highly unusual, right? Nothing back then corresponded to what we have today as 16:9. Okay, they were never quite like that. Now I can't remember which one I had. I'm pretty sure I had the Intuos 6x8. I think that's the one I have, or I had. Now I just want to show you. You should see what the previous model looked like, and what this model looked like, and what the next model looked like, because this is a real transition in Wacom land. Okay, let me get to. Give me a second. Let's find my. Where are my? I take photos and keep stuff for all tablets. So it's important that you understand what the previous model, the Intuos2, looked like. Because really, the design of things changed. And we'll talk a little bit about what was going on in the world. I'm just waiting for my NAS to wake up. Still waiting. CTH 680. I think I have one somewhere. Let's see. Product materials. Wacom. Okay. First I'm going to show you the Intuos2. If I have it. I think I do. Intuos2 was that the UD series? No, that's the G. Maybe it's the XD or GD. I think XD. Let me take a look here. This is the original Intuos, which means that's the XD series. But let's take a look at I think it's the GD series then. 6x8 is the closest we have to, maybe I'm confused. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is what the Intuos2 did look like, okay? I'm trying to find a better picture of the actual body of the tablet. Yeah, actually, this picture did a pretty good job right here. Take a look at this. So it's very curved, and this is the old Wacom logo. I do have a NAS. I have like a 40 terabyte, almost 40 terabyte NAS. This is the old Wacom logo. And you can see the styling is just really different than Intuos2. The Intuos 1 had the same styling, by the way. Right? Even look at the pen holder. It's right here. Right? Yeah, this was it wasn't white exactly. It was just a little bit off of that. Okay? Like a kind of a gray. A light gray. But it would have been intriguing to have a white tablet for sure. So this is what it looked like. And I used the Intuos2 for quite a while, even though what you're seeing is Intuos 1. Or just Intuos. They didn't number things then. So I love this tablet, but I want you to see the style. Okay? And then what happened was, I gotta be careful because I don't want to, YouTube does not like it when I play music. Do I store actual tablet hardware there? No. I have a lot of movies. And I back up things there, of course. I used to have all my backups on the cloud, but you just don't know what's going to happen. If you keep all your core materials on the cloud, I hate to say it, If you keep, I do keep some stuff in Microsoft's OneDrive in its personal vault, but if you keep stuff on the cloud, things that you need that you're archiving, one day the cloud service is going to say, hey, you got to take it off, or they're going to say, we don't want you storing this material, you know. So I decided it was safer for me to store locally and have a backup strategy locally. Plus, I got, 40 terabytes, so there's a lot I can store there. Okay, I'm trying to find Apple. So Apple is the cause of everything here. Apple, what was it, the original iMac? Because you got to see it, and then it'll make more sense. Okay, so this is, here we go. So then Apple introduced these iMacs. Now, what do you notice about the iMacs? Okay, they're colorful, and there's the plastic, you can see through it a little bit, right? And that was a real shock, because really, you have to remember, the Mac that preceded it looked like this. Or this, it was beige, looked like office equipment. So you'd never seen things with color before. It just was not a thing. So that was shocking. And I'm the cause of the SSD price increase? Maybe. Let me try to find other examples of actually, when was this introduced? This was introduced in the late 90s, I believe. Or is it early 2000s? I can't remember. 1998 to 2003. What do you want? Computer equipment. Equipment with translucent plastic. When was that style? Introduced. I want to see. Hey, Camulin, thanks for joining. Always love to see Camulina join us. This is not what I'm looking for exactly, but my point is Apple, actually, they introduced a lot. Oh yeah, actually, Apple keyboard with clear plastic. Hi, Drink Water. Thanks for joining us. I think this might be it. Is this it? It's filthy. Okay, you can see it a little bit in this picture. Do you see how there's like a layer of clear plastic, right? Like it's not a wrapping, that's just the way it was. So, and this time, again, this is late 90s, early 2000s, there was a lot of, because of Apple, things were changing visually. You saw that with their designs, and everyone was really influenced by that. Microsoft introduced Windows XP. Does everyone, I think, I'm going to show it just so everyone knows what it looks like. So this was Windows XP. Just so everyone's on the same page. Now there's no, I was in Microsoft at this time, okay? So what do you notice with Windows XP? Of course, you notice the start menu has this kind of, it's very dimensional. Oh, Mir, you gotta go? Thanks for stopping by, Mir. Always great to have you on stream. Have fun on the stream. Drink water, I do. I have quite a few Intuos3s. So the reason this happened was everyone noticed it. Everyone noticed this look that Apple had. The buttons were like jelly, and they had glass and reflections and light. And in Microsoft, we were like, hey, we got to make our stuff look attractive. Now, to be honest, how can I explain this? It does. Oh, so I'm not showing it to you. I'm sorry. It looks a little. Maybe you might say today it looks a bit gaudy, right? It looks a bit overdone. But forgetting that for a moment, it was a real shock. Hey, Carlo Cusa, Merry Christmas to you. This was a real shock for us, right? And I say us, I'm talking about people inside Microsoft, right? And lots of things inside Microsoft, you'd see them get restyled to have this look. Lots of applications took on, not only because Windows had it, so you inherited that, but we deliberately styled all sorts of applications to have a more dimensional look, right? Things that didn't have to. So this just pervaded, and maybe we went overboard, to be quite honest, but still, some people called it it looked like a child's toy. I kind of liked it. Now, by the way, this was actually, this background was, I think they call it the Bliss wallpaper. This was not the one we saw internally. This was like late, toward the end, I believe. What we saw was this one. Let's see, Windows XP. I think it's called Mars. I'll see if I can find it. Yeah, this, internally, this is the one I saw the most. Right? Or something like it. So I actually prefer this one, actually, to the Bliss wallpaper. Because I thought the color contrast was so cool. Right? Just super. Look at that. Let's see. Carlo Cusa says, did you see the Canvas 27 Pro having 1440 incoming? Would you also say that 8-bit plus FRC versus proper 10-bit displays have a noticeable difference in color? I've used both, Carlo Cusa. I can't see the difference. Okay, I've used true 10-bit displays and 8-bit plus FRC. My eyes don't detect a bit of difference. Okay, now I could believe there are humans that could see a difference, good or bad, but I just don't. I can't tell the difference. Not at all. But yeah, I've tried both. I haven't tried that specific Canvas 24 Pro model, but there are various displays I have which are 10-bit plus FRC versus 10-bit native. Cami Luna says, as someone who worked for a company that managed to keep Windows XP until 2018, wow. I appreciate how much faster XP ran compared to Vista 7. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it did less, right? Like, remember, I was part of Windows 8. Was I part of 7? Maybe. I think it's part of 7. And I was definitely part of Vista. I don't know, I'm part of all of them, okay? From Vista on. Because the stuff I did went into those, right? But especially with Vista, you definitely notice performance change. Because it just did more. Right? Now, it was the original vision for Vista was targeting hardware that didn't exist. And probably that bet was too aggressive on top of the fact that the project was really, seems to have gone off the rails and then got realigned. So that took its toll. But I will say this, to be fair. A lot of the things that you like about Windows 11, 10, 7, a lot of things that you like about that had its roots in Vista. So it's important to recognize that even though it might have been painful for some people, it set the seeds for what we like today. Carlos says, there's an immediate mode GUI library for C that has a literal branch on GitHub with presets to have the UI look like grayscale UI from Win98. Oh, interesting. Yeah, sometimes that's cool. By the way, the Canvas 24 Gen 3, Canvas Pro 24 Gen 3 has a black and white mode. So it'll show everything grayscale. So if you really want it, it's actually available in the hardware. Now, why they did that, I don't know. But maybe it's cool. A time where we didn't have weird rounded corners and all UIs and sleek. That's right. Okay, so the reason I'm talking about Windows XP and Apple is to set the stage, okay? I showed you Intuos 2, which looks just like Intuos 1, actually. So I showed you Intuos 1. Looked like office furniture, office equipment. Then XP and Apple, you start seeing light and color and glass and reflection. So this was a big thing in this time frame. Okay, so then let's get back to where we were at. Let's close this and these pictures. So when was this released? 2004. Okay, so this is just sort of like, now we're seeing products, and Intuos3 looked like nothing you'd ever seen, like nothing you'd ever seen. Let me now get there and show you some pictures. And while I'm at the pictures, I'm going to turn on the overhead camera because I'm going to use that in just a minute. Hello. Okay. Yeah, it's there. Okay. So let's bring a picture here. It's the PTZ. I have a bunch of them. I have almost every Wacom professional tablet in existence. I'll pick the 630W, which is what I have in front. Okay, let's take a look at the box first. Okay. So this is the 6x8. So sorry for there's a little bit of a reflection there, but you get the idea. You get the idea, right? Now this still has a kind of office furniture, or sorry, office equipment boxing look. The packaging, Wacom's old logo, and so nothing's too, you know, if you just looked at it, you might not notice anything. In fact, I didn't when I got the device. However, if we actually go and take a look at the tablet, let's see. What do you notice here? Sorry, this has a bad color cast. Take a look here. There's clear plastic, right? So this tablet was so weird because for no apparent reason, there was a shell of plastic on top of it, like clear plastic, right? And you can see it because you see the gray part. There's plastic, like that gray is below the plastic. And you can see it at the edges, and you can see my reflection. Take a photo there of my arms. This was kind of a shock. I never had a piece of equipment like this, okay? The other thing that this tablet had was these buttons and strips. I think these, the ones that are gray here, this long one, these two, and this one, these are buttons, like you press them. This was a touch strip. And it's the first time Wacom introduced it was just weird. I did not like these, by the way. I did not like them. I disabled. That's the first time I learned. I just disabled these, and it was on both sides, which was interesting, right? Like today, we're like, oh, well, you have to rotate the tablet. Nope, they had it on both sides, which I thought was kind of nice. At least you got double the number of buttons, but you only had 4 buttons on each side you have 4 buttons, 1 touch strip. So total of 8 buttons, 2 touch strips. But this is the first time Wacom sort of did something unusual, okay? And this was, you know, this set the tone for future Wacom professional tablets to have buttons. Now I can't say, sorry, I'm rubbing my eyes. I can't say for sure this is the first time we saw buttons on a Wacom tablet, but it's the first time I recall in the professional series seeing buttons. Or touch strips. So touch, or that kind of interactivity, has been there for a while with Wacom tablets. Let's see if I can find another photo, because I don't think this picture actually does it justice, to be quite honest. Yeah, this is probably a better photo. Notice again, if we look over here, you can see that clear plastic on top, right? Really interesting design choice. So it may not be obvious, but the clear plastic is flush with the active area, right? It may look here like, oh, this is not flush, like this is standing out or something. That's just an effect of the light, okay? And the angles. It's not, if you touch it, it's smooth. You just feel a slight transition from this surface to this surface, right? But they're at the same altitude. But for a lot of people, so these were popularly described as tanks. They were solid. Even this one today It's about half an inch thick. Okay, so what is that? 12 millimeters, something. These feel substantial. Like you're not. You know this is hard to bend. You can immediately tell it's very rigid. So that was an aspect of it. Now let me turn on the camera view. You know what? I'm gonna have to. There we go. We'll do it like this. Oh, great. And let me move this out of the way here. Okay, here we go. So here it is, and you can see, right, the glossiness of the plastic, right? And again, I'm showing you the 631W, the wide screen. It's the first time we saw widescreen in Wacom tablets. And I don't think it's the first time we had USB. I think the previous version had USB, and maybe the one before that. But I believe this is the first version that only had USB. And then the other thing is the USB cables for these are attached, right? Like you can't take this out. I mean, maybe if you try, you can, but like it's designed to be attached, and it's quite secure. So it's deep in here, I think, because let me zoom in. To really protect the connector. Okay. Now another thing that's interesting about this series is because some people want the cable going out and some people want it going up. It had little channels for the cable, right? This is stuff you just don't see today. Now, is this something we want? I don't know. I appreciated it, to be honest, but I'd have to admit it's harder to pack, right? Because you have to do something with this cable. But this is how it was back then. It's a much thicker tablet than we're used to today. And it has this very slight wedge shape. Let me see if I can zoom out and show it to you. Like it's a little bit. It has this. So this is not a new feature. This is a 20-year-old feature of it going down this way, right? Yeah, it was irreplaceable. Kind of like that Beyonce song. Is that the song? Is that actually a Beyonce song? I don't think it angles down like a wedge, but it does have this. So I think it's just as thick here as it is here. Okay. So people still use this tablet. People absolutely still use this tablet. And that's what we're going to explore today. How is it possible you can use a tablet that came out in 2003 in 2025? That's 22 years. Or 2004. Okay? So 21 years. Carlos says, oh, yours was one of the old bamboos. I'm not sure I ever had a bamboo when they first came out. I think I had them. I think the name turned me off, to be quite honest, because the name sort of implies not professional. Almost like a kid's tablet. They were actually pretty good tablets, from what I hear. Okay, so there's no driver installed. Okay, there's no driver installed. I'm just gonna plug it in, and I have the pens here. Oh, let me show you the pens. Let me show you the pens. They look very different from what we're used to today. This is such an exceptional tablet because again, it set the stage for the future, but it's totally its own visual style, its own design language. The Intuos3 is old enough to consume alcohol yet. That's right, Kevin Luda. It can be drafted. It can consume alcohol. It's an adult. Okay, let's zoom in here. Okay, so this is the pen that came with it, ZP501E. I forgot what its name is. It's probably just the Intuos3 grip pen or something. So I don't have an Intuos Pro Pen 2 with me, but this is pretty close in size. This is a Huion pen. And take a look at this. So this black one's Huion, but it's about the same size as Pro Pen 2. So the other thing you'll notice with the Intuos 3 pens is they're much taller. Like they are longer by far. Very, very different. So this, and it looked different from the previous pens, right? One thing else you'll notice here, I think, is that it's very slightly, I believe this is true. It's kind of hard to visually tell. It may be just slightly like a Coke bottle, a little bit thinner here than here. So the little thinner in this section, right? Which is a holdover from the previous model. Now I can't say for sure that's true, but I feels like it might be, at least visually. I don't know, now I'm doubting myself. Maybe I'm wrong. It might just be this tape is throwing me off, actually. I think the tape might be making me think it's thinner here than it is. Okay, let's say it's not. I'll have to double check my measurements. But yeah, it's all gray again, and this is soft rubber here. In fact, I can probably pinch this. Yeah, you see it? They pinch. You can see me move the rubber off. I'll try not to damage the tablet. This rubber, unlike the later rubber of the pens, doesn't take up too much dust. Yeah, the buttons really used to stick out, Cammy Luna. That's a good point. And I think that's something that I do prefer, that the buttons are more. The other thing about the buttons here is you can, like, how can I say this? I can put my finger on them. Like, I can really, like, I can touch the buttons without accidentally clicking them, right? Like, I know when they're going to activate, and I know how much force it's going to take. It's not like it takes a lot, but there are fewer accidental clicks here, because you know where the buttons are, and you can touch them, and, you know, with normal force without clicking them. So that was nice. So this was a really good pen. This was a really good pen. Okay. Now, we got the pen. Now let's... what we're going to do, we're going to try to use it. So, first test. Can I just plug it in and use it? I don't know what's going to happen. Now, this is what the test here is. Does Windows just know what to do? It should. It might. So there's no driver right now. There's no OTD, no Wacom, nothing. I heard a beep. And look at that. The pen actually, look, no driver, and it works because of the built-in tablet drivers in Windows. Okay, now the first question is, though, I'm looking for something circular. Hang on. Here we go. I got a little bowl here. Got a little bowl. And let me start Clip Studio Paint. Where's my... Or Krita. Let's start Krita right now. Discard all. File, new. So let's just see what works, right? And the first is, do I have pressure? Okay, let me take the bowl off here. Do I have pressure? Where'd my mouse go? Oh, sorry. I'm using the Huion pen with the Wacom. Okay. That's a classic. When you have a lot of pens, you end up doing that. Okay, here's the Wacom pen. First of all, can I draw? Well, yeah. Now, you may notice how bad the line looks. Don't worry. We'll figure that out. Okay? Now, the second thing is, what's this mapped to? And it's mapped to... right now, it seems to be going... You can't see it. It's actually going to multiple screen. Oh, it's like in mouse mode. Okay? It's in mouse mode. What does that mean? it's, if I pick it up, actually I'll do it right here. Watch this. It's easier if I don't have Crete on. Okay, so I'm gonna move them. Okay, I'm gonna keep the mouse there, okay? Now watch. I'm going to put the I'm gonna put the pen in the middle of the screen. Okay, so slight shift. Now I'm gonna move the pen 1 inch to the right. Okay, so it seems normal. And now, right, it seems normal. However, I'm gonna lift up and put the pen back in the middle of the screen, the tablet. Normally, the pointer should snap back. It doesn't. Oops, I clicked the button. Basically, I can keep doing, you see that? I can just do like, almost like a mouse, right? So, I don't know if that's a tablet problem or the the built-in Microsoft drivers, but this would not be usually the way you'd want to use a tablet, right? In fact, I can get all the way to, you can't see it, the pointers aren't on the screen. So this, it sort of works, but not really. Okay, so we're going to install the Wacom drivers. Now, I haven't done this in so long. Now I have the number 22 here for no obvious reason. But basically the last Windows driver was 6.3.15-3, released 10 years ago. Will it work? We'll see. Well, the secret, Mordekainer, is first of all, when I buy old tablets on eBay, I make sure they're not messed up. Okay. I carefully look at the photos, and I've had a lot of luck. None of them have been scratched up. So only one of them has been. I knew that, but I bought it anyway. So yeah, some people just take really good care of their tablets. Lots of people buy tablets and don't draw on them. So good for me, right? I think a lot of people buy tablets and they think they're going to draw and they just never end up drawing. So it means the used market's filled with. Yeah, we're going to see if this works, and then we'll try Open Tablet Driver, which will require a little bit of a setup. Okay, what do you do if you don't have... Okay, first we're going to see what happens. I haven't used an old tablet driver in forever. This driver probably came out when... Okay, so let's go to Wacom.com. Wacom drivers. And we're going to go here. And we're going to type in PTZ 631W. And it listed here with a whole bunch of others. And what's it say? It says driver 6.3.15.3, December 22nd, 2015. So actually we're literally 10 years and 3 days was the last version of this thing. Let's download it. Okay? We're going to see what happens. Now, this is probably for 32-bit version of Windows. We don't even know. Will it work with the 64-bit version of Windows? We don't know. Confirm download. Let's do it. Even if the driver installs, there's no guarantee that this will actually work with modern apps. But we're going to try because people will. So Open Tablet Driver does support this model for sure, Carlo. It definitely supports it. Okay, let's accept. Needs to restart. Okay, let's restart. Okay. So we're just waiting for it to restart. Yes, restart anyway. Again, I do not know what's going to happen. I have not tried an old driver forever. Okay, while I'm waiting, I'm going to go get something to drink, and I'll be right back, okay? 1 minute. Okay, I am back. Let's log into this machine again, since I had to reboot. I got a Red Bull. I really gotta stop drinking Red Bull. Damn, I really look good. The weight loss is really, it's showing up. So I'm happy about that. Someone clip that. That's all right. I didn't mean that literally. I just saw some streamers say something like that. I just thought that was funny. Clip that. Okay, let's take a look. Wacom tablet property. Whoo! Look how ancient this is. I'm gonna take some screenshots. Here. I don't know if you heard me earlier, Carlos. Down 40 pounds. I'm down 40 pounds. Since last year. Since December of last year. Okay, I'm going to take some screenshots here. Let's take a look. Actually, before I do that, let me change the background color. Because oh, you can't see it. You can't see it. Okay, let's start back up. Let me close everything so everyone understands what happened. Personalize. And let me just get a background color. That'll be a little bit easier for everyone to understand what's happening. For some reason, Windows has this kind of bug. I don't know if anyone sees this, but like you can set a background picture or color, and then I don't know, in a day or two, it's like you log in again, and it's like, actually, I think I'm going to change my background, your background to black. It happens on every Windows PC I own. Why? I don't know. Happens with multiple Microsoft accounts. It's been happening for years. Carlos says, I have my own manual treadmill in my room to keep a decent level of health for a desk. Yeah, good. Now it looks like Windows XP without the background. Yeah. Okay, let us start that up again. And this time I'm going to take some screenshots because I do want to, let's see, where's my screenshot button? Oh, it didn't do anything. Okay. So let's just take a Windows screenshot here. Or not a window. Oh, I'm so silly. Let's try this again. I'll do a rectangle screenshot. There we go. Oh, come on. Are you serious? It's not taking the screenshot, which is the funniest thing in the world. How about full screen? Okay, took too much, but whatever. Windows screenshot tool is just not great sometimes. Okay. So this is a Wacom tablet. They didn't have Wacom Center back then. Let's see. Plus a pure... Wait, for what? For night, I get it, Carlo. Pure OLED pure black is so much less straining. If you want, I can try a different color. I can try, how about this? How about I do gray? It's neutral, okay? Okay, so let me take a screenshot of this. Because I myself am a little surprised at how consistent this has been through the years, but also how different it feels, right? Pop-up menu. Let's take, yeah, I want to get screenshots of all this. I want the pop-up menu. I want the express keys. Let's take a look. Display toggle. Some of the stuff really hasn't changed in 10 years. That has it. Touch strip. Let's take a look at the express keys. What can you do? Modifier. Let me So, wow. This is the options, and let's cancel that. Let's take about. Okay, so that was the UI. I mean, pretty basic. Now, by the way, notice what's missing here. Oh, let me click on diagnose. Some of the stuff hasn't changed at all. But Cami Luna, even if you do that, which you're correct, of course, it's funny that this UI hasn't really evolved, right? Well, I don't mean as a criticism about Wacom. It's more like you would expect in 10 years, even this old UI would have had some interesting changes, but it's all gone into Wacom Center, which I'm not complaining about. The only thing I notice here is there's no Windows Ink anywhere right now. I haven't. By the way, there isn't a Windows Ink, partly because this is actually a weird thing about Wacom. There's something missing here. You know what that is? The pen. So I haven't touched the pen to the tablet yet with the driver installed. Now watch what happens. Okay. I'm gonna touch the tablet. Well, pen appeared, right? So sometimes this gets people confused when you install a new tablet driver. If you've never used the pen with it, it won't show the pen. So you have to... okay, let's take a look at this. That's pen eraser. Then there's pen mapping. Oh, I didn't even realize this. So this driver came out 10 years ago. So yeah, they do have Windows Ink setting on the lower left. They have force proportions. Yeah, you're right, Carlo. This didn't really need improvements. I mean, it did everything it's supposed to. Okay, now let's try to do some drawing. How's that? So first of all, can I draw? Can I move the mouse or move the pointer? Okay. The mapping is set for all three displays, so I'm going to change it to just the top display. Okay. Screen area, monitor 1. Okay, somehow I got it right. And then, of course, what do? We always say force proportions. Now, I think that in UIs, this is my suggestion, that when it should be more obvious we need force proportions, and when you do it, it should tell you how much. It should tell you more obviously what it did, right? Okay, so let's try drawing. Let's do a little testing. So remember, this is actually first of all, it's the original driver, right? Which I'm shocked it works. I don't know what's going to happen in Photoshop, but we'll see. I mean, I'm not going to test Photoshop, but my point is, it's an open question. Okay, where's my mouse? There it is. Okay, pressure. Let me get a bigger brush. This is some pen, I don't remember. Let's go ahead and get a 128 pixel brush. Okay, a couple of things come to mind. First of all, the control is good, okay? Now, let's take a look at the pressure curve, because I want to make sure it's not doing anything weird. It is doing something weird. Let's go make it linear. Let me erase this. Okay. Okay, I'm going to tell you a couple of things I'm noticing here. First of all, with this specific unit of pen, the IF is a little bit higher than I expect. It's still low. It's still very good, but it's a little higher than I expect. Because I know I can feel I'm dragging the pen, but it's not drawing. Okay? Now, this could be my weirdness. There you go. Super light pressure. Let me try it without an angle. Yeah, it's not high IF, just a little bit higher than you see. Could just be this specific unit. So let me try another one. I'll try 3 different units, okay? Okay, I'm gonna do a little more testing another day. I don't think I have measured the IAF for these pens, actually. I mean, I'm not good at low IAF, but I will try. But, okay, now let's just focus on pressure control. This is just whether lines get thick or thin. Don't worry about like the accuracy of the lines. It feels great to draw. I mean, like it goes up and down. Now, I will tell you something which I forgot about. Back in the day, like today, Wacom professional tablets have a texture. All tablets really have texture. But this surface is much smoother than you're used to. I'll tell you that. You would find this surface a little slip and slidey. Not quite as much as like the glass of a typical iPad without nano texture, but you'll definitely think it's more slippy and slidey. Look at my technical terms, slippy and slidey. That's why I think some of my strokes are a little bit erratic. There could be a little bit of diagonal wobble or some kind of wobble here. We're going to investigate that. It still feels good to draw, but you just be aware that there's a little extra, or a little, it's smoother than you'd expect, okay? Now, I don't know if the ZP501 pen had felt tips available and felt nibs, but another thing to watch out for. Okay, but the quality of the pressure is very good. And one specific test I'm going to do is, if I draw it at a 500 pixel brush, 540, if I draw with light pressure, do I see any weird artifacts? You see it cutting out because the IEF is a little higher than I'm used to for a Pro pen. So unlike the Pro Pen 2, you don't see a lot of bubbling blobbiness. Now something weird happened there. We're going to talk about that in a second. I don't know if you noticed it. Oh, sorry, that's not. I see. I had another pen on top of the tablet, and it was interfering at the bottom left. So what's interesting here is there's no blobbiness, or very little blobbiness, at the low end of pressure. Pro Pen 2 will produce bumpy, blobby strokes. So this is good, actually. As always, you can fix all those things with pressure curves and pressure smoothing. So, good low-end control. That's partly due to the higher IAF, I think. Okay, let's see. Let's do a little bit of diagonal wobble. I have my diagonal wobble ruler here. Let's take a look. I'm going to change brushes for this. I'm going to change to the Intuos3 fine liner. Where is it? This thing. Make sure the pressure curve is turned no pressure. So constant width of 5 pixels. Let's do a test line. Yeah. No smoothing. Let's take a look. So this is slow stroke. Actually, let me do that a little differently. I can see there's a little bit of diagonal wobble. Can you see it? That's the slow stroke. Let's do a fast stroke. Still there. And let's do a much faster stroke. 1 second. Generally, faster strokes will get rid of diagonal wobble. At least you want them to. Let's zoom in. Can you see it? See, it's bending up a little bit. You can probably see it here. So this is what I would call, you'd want better than this, okay? But this is very typical for a modern non-Wacom pen tablet. Now the question is really, because all tablets have a little bit of this, can you fix it? And what would it take to fix? And so what we do then, the standard fix issue is, oops, why is my pen not? We go to brush smoothing, we go to weighted. We'll start at 50 for weighted or something close to it and see how that affects things. Usually I end up at 200, but '50 did a great job, by the way. Big result at 50, folks. Not perfect, but pretty. I think there's a definitely decrease. Let's try at 100. 105, okay, same thing. Again, these are slow strokes, okay? Yeah, I think you'd have a hard time telling that apart from a non-wobbly line. Oops. At 200, it's going to be pretty good. Probably indistinguishable. Let me shift that down a little bit. Yeah, 200, yeah. 200 is like the magic value for a lot of things. For a diagonal wobble, it will knock out. You can just tell right now. If you pay real close attention, you probably see it, but like, I think most people would look at this and say, oh, that line's perfect, right? And remember, at this point, your hand will introduce more issues than the pen will, so this is fine. This is fine. Even, again, you know, when you start looking at this kind of test, you have to realize these are things you discover when you're testing, but you might not ever realize when you're actually using it. So if you're drawing a line like this, you know, you're drawing much faster, you don't notice these things, right? I turned off all smoothing, right? So drawing experience works great. It really is, just shows you how, again, when did this tablet come out? 21 years ago. Pressure works great. I know tilt will work great. We'll go ahead. So I'm not going to bother testing that. But I think it just goes to show you the longevity, you know, how well these products can work. 2004. So that was 21 years ago. Toucan, that's a good question. My heart, it goes in multiple places on this. Okay, so first of all, I think I was not a huge fan of the Intuos3 because of the style. Like, I didn't like the touch strips and all that. I liked the look. In theory, I liked the look of it, but I also thought it was like, it was a shock to me compared from the Intuos2. And over time, I have warmed up to it. I actually think it's one of the best looking tablets ever made, right? Now, my heart, though, I know Wacom's not going to like it when I say this, but to me, it's between, I'd have to pick between the Intuos 3, 4, and 5. Sorry, let me back that up. Not quite. Intuos 3, 4, and the Intuos Pro 2017. I'm sorry, Intuos Pro 2025. You're not in the mix. Intuos 3, 4, and the Intuos Pro 2017. My heart is with Intuos 4. And why is it with Intuos 4? It was the most premium looking of Wacom's tablets, right? They were solid, they were jet black, they really had this kind of like serious professional vibe to them, right? Now don't get me wrong, over time I came to appreciate the how this thing played with light, right? And I think it's underappreciated. It's really a shame that Wacom didn't stick with this style a little bit longer, because I think this was going someplace, right? Another thing I like, the light, right? Which is like, it's so much more, it's not a thing you see in Wacom tablets today. When they're on, they don't have quite the same lighting, right? Now what's interesting here, which I don't know if this is a mistake or not, because I just can't remember. The light is blue. It's I know it looks white, but it's actually blue. The light dims to green. Can you see it? Or it changes color to green when you. I think that's actually interesting. I like knowing that the thing is like knows the pen is there, right? I know not everyone likes a blue light, but this is not the bright, crazy blue light we see in modern devices. Like it's not. Some TVs have a small blue light that's super bright. It's not like that. It's very elegant looking, actually. So I like that it shifts color like that. It's cool. Lets you know it like knows the pen is there. Yeah, for me, I would probably say Intuos 4 is the best looking one. And then that means Intuos 3 and Intuos Pro 2017 are tied, I think, in terms of aesthetics. If I had to construct one that was good, I'd say I'd like the plastic and solidity of the Intuos 3 and the color, the gray, and the sleekness. But I'd prefer and I like the buttons on being on both sides. But I'm not a huge fan of the way the buttons were implemented, right? And by the way, just not a huge fan of the way the buttons are implemented. I really like my Intuos 5, though I am worried about the rubber going bad. Yeah. I see that a lot. I bought a couple of Intuos 5s on eBay, and I've seen many pictures. The rubber on those deteriorates. Like they fall apart. Some get sticky. So that was probably, in retrospect, not the best idea for Wacom. Though I think I can see why they did it. For a warmer feel. It also means that like it covered the buttons, so it didn't liquid would not get in. Let's see. I really like Intuos 5. I'm worried about the rubber going bad. Using express keys feels kind of bad, but I haven't tried. Yeah. Check out Intuos 4, maybe. You might like that. The drawing experience is good here. I'm just really... What surprised me, the driver works. Honestly. I didn't have to do anything special, and the driver just still works here. Right? Now, am I suggesting people get Intuos 3? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure. I am just not sure if I would say that or not. But one of the reasons I want to do this test is recently I talked about support lifetimes for tablets, and I said that at some point driver support will stop. So the question is, how long will the drivers work? And well, for Intuos 3, that time is 10 years. I mean, it's going on 10 years now, right? No, Tukan, I do not have the jet black Intuos 3. I saw a picture of one recently. I don't have it though. Do the Intuos Pro Express keys have touch sensitivity? Intuos 5 has it. This one, the Intuos, this Intuos has a touch strip, but I'm not sure it detects pressure, but it is touch sensitive. Intuos 5 has touch. Then what did Intuos? Sorry, you're talking about the express keys, right? Right. Yeah, no, I don't fully remember because I rarely use the express keys. I'm one of the people who disables express keys immediately. So wow, I'm just surprised this works. I didn't expect the driver to work. I have to be completely honest with you all. So for those of you who are looking for an alternative, if you're willing to tolerate risk means you buy something and you're unhappy, just consider. Hi, Pumpkin Cat. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to open up eBay. Oops, let's get there. Hang on. eBay. I'm not in the right place. Hang on. eBay. Okay, let's take a look. Intuos3. So 930. It's a relatively large one, 9 by 12. $34. 630. $22. $20. But what about the one I have? This is the 631W, which you kind of want, I think, because it's kind of like a widescreen. 631W. How much is this one? 15. No, that's not it. $40. May not be a bad idea. Again, you have to tolerate risk, right? $100. $20. This cut down from 35. Tons of these on the market. Maybe as a backup. And some of these are large too, like that. Let me take a look here. Let me find out what is the largest size we have here. Okay, I need to take a quick bio break. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Let us then see. Let's see. Take into the Intuos 5 Express keys have touch sensitivity. Have hover. If you rest your fingers on the key, it will show what the key. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I've never really explored because I don't use the express keys. I've never explored that. I'll check that out next time. Let me take a note to do that. Let me take a note to do that. Tools, show notes. Let me actually take a few notes on what we've done today as well. Let me add a page here, which is 2025. What is? Oh, it's December 25th, of course. So first of all, old driver or last supported driver still works on Windows 11. Works on Windows 11. Pressure works. Tilt. DVD on tilt. What else? Toucan said. Oh, let me just copy the text. It's a little easier than me retyping it. Okay. Let's see. What about what are they called? PNP drivers? Tablet forced into mouse mode. So relative positioning. That was surprising and weird. OTD, I know it works. I've tested it before. OTD works. I would say eBay prices are pretty good. Oh, sorry. I want to check what the prices were for some of these. PTZ. Let's take a look. I think we are seeing the prices. 9x12 is a big size. So let's see if we can find that. 9x12. Look at that. PTZ 930. $35. Maybe an option. Maybe an option for some people. Again, you gotta be tolerant to risk because you never know what's not gonna work correctly. What else did I notice? Diagonal wobble. Diagonal wobble. More than what you'd expect, right? More than a modern Wacom Pro pen tablet. 200 Krita weighted smoothing distance 200 fixes it. Manages it. I don't want to say eliminates it because I don't think it does eliminate it, but I think it gets it to the point where you don't notice. Another thing I will say is just like the device itself, it's sturdy. It's very sturdy. I would say also the surface texture, it is smooth. It's smoother than a modern pen tablets. So this is a question. Does ZP501E have nibs? Have felt nibs? I don't recall that, but we'll double check. Now that we're asking about the ZP501, what about the ZP501 cost? Let's take a look here. You always got to find a source of pens and grips. Okay, so ZP501 looks like this is even new. $40, $50, $53, $75, 70. Two of these. So basically you're charging like $65. $50. No, this is not it. It doesn't look like the ZP51. Looks like this is Intuos2. I've got the wrong picture there. So this listing is incorrect. Some of these are decent price, honestly. So I see a lot going for $50. That's what I'll note. Mini ad. So they're not cheap, but they're cheaper. Oh, what about nibs? Welcome ZP nibs. I don't know if this tablet had. Someone actually asked this question. I'm going to save this one. And we'll take a look at some of what links that are pointed out here. On Mac Hollywood, we see ZP. Let me find it here. ZP501. Standard nibs. Looks like there's only one kind of nib. Looks like just standard nibs. I don't see any other nibs listed. So let's just write this down. Looks like only one kind of nib. Standard nib. Okay. So if we go to eBay, what happens if we search for these nibs? Someone's selling what, 5 of these for $30? No way. $3 for 5. Okay, that's a tolerable. But $6 a nib is not tolerable. So yeah, if you're gonna get an older tablet, you got to make sure you got to, you should get a spare pen, maybe 2 spare pens, and lots of nibs. You never know when you're gonna need them and you're gonna run out. I don't use nibs very often, so I just need to make sure I have some backups. I mean, I don't wear through them very fast. Other comments here, I would say pressure handling. Very good. I mean, I was like very happy. Very good. How about, oops. Low pressure artifacts. Very good. Didn't see much. What about IAF? I think subjectively higher than ProPen 2, ProPen 3. Need to measure this one. And I'll check if I have any measurements already. Let's see. ZP501. I don't have any measurements. Now, Cube has some measurements, I think. He measured them at less than 1 gram force. I think he at least has one of these pens. But to me, it felt higher. Now, I was doing it at an angle, so that could have been part of the reason. Because when you do IF testing, you should do it perfectly vertical. That's when the pen is most sensitive. Oh, I should do another thing about aspect ratio. So first of all, none of them are 16:9. But that's okay. I mean, I always say use force proportions, right? Lots of them are much more square than what you would be used to. Like there was one that's basically 4x3, right? So that's unusual. This is the active area. Size, yeah, there are available numbers of sizes as well. I think I counted 7 different sizes. 7 different sizes. This is actually, just as a note, this is the last Pro pen tablet from Wacom that has more than 3 sizes. Or, no, it's the last that has 7. Intuos3 had 4 sizes, right? Intuos3. I have to double check, but I think that's right. But by the time you get to later ones, it's just small, medium, large, right? It does have an XL size. Which, for a long time, Wacom had XL sizes, like 12x19. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap up the stream. We've been going for about 2 hours. I think the lesson for me is pretty positive with the Intuos3. I didn't expect it to work, to be quite honest. I thought the driver would be having a problem, but the driver worked fine, which surprised the heck out of me. I haven't installed, I don't know, I guess in my mind I thought because this is probably still a 32-bit driver that I wouldn't install or have problems, but it worked. It worked. Toucan, I agree with you. I wish they'd kept the consistent naming. The current Wacom Intuos Pro 20, if they kept the naming, the current Wacom Intuos Pro 2025 would be the Intuos 8, by the way. Let me double check that. I actually, let's see, Intuos 2. Because for each tablet, I actually have which generation it is somewhere. This is, okay, so Intuos 2 is the 2nd generation. Intuos 2025 is the 8th generation. Let me fix that. 8th generation. Oops. You can't see what I'm seeing. 8th. It just makes more sense, right? And the names are easier to keep track of. It is really hard to ask one which base model Intuos. So absolutely. Intuos Pro is especially hard because most people, you know, they don't know what the model numbers are. It's when they need help. And on eBay, you'll see the wrong photo with the wrong tablet and the wrong number. So I just think like the name should, you know, you're right. It should have the name. It should just say Intuos. Even if it said Intuos Pro 7, Intuos Pro 8, I'd be happy. And the name should be clearly on the tablet. It absolutely should be on the tablet. Okay, everyone, I am going to call it a stream. I had a lot of fun. Thanks everyone for joining me. This was a cool way to spend my, I don't know why I think it's Saturday morning, but it's actually Thursday, I think. I will be streaming. Let's take a look at my notes. I will be streaming again. My holiday schedule is, where is it? Yeah, I said I'd be streaming. I thought I was gonna stream yesterday. I chose not to, because no, I tried stream the other day and no one was showing up for shopping advice. So originally wanted this stream to be about setting up a drawing tablet, but I just thought it'd be better to use it on Intuos3. I might do a stream on the next week, like I think on the Tuesday or something. No stream on New Year's Eve, but I will stream on January 1st. And that's a special stream where that's, I guess what? That's Thursday, right? It's a stream where we're gonna, just look back in time. We're gonna look forward, share our thoughts about what happened this year and like what we want. And we'll see, we'll just celebrate, right? Maybe I'll I don't know. Maybe I'll get a glass of wine or something, drink it on stream. Okay, and then January 1st, I'm launching a new channel, which is not focused on drawing tablets, but focused on communication and talking and writing and presenting. So for those of you who are interested in that kind of topic, feel free to join me there. I'll talk more about it later. Anyway, everyone, have a great night. Have a great day. Merry Christmas. And especially to all my Discord crew, to Mir, to Cube, to Koyo, to Mihao, to Ascot. It's been a great year, and so many others. Nakdi, Arch. I'm going to thank everyone again during New Year's, January 1st. I just want to say it's because of all of you that this has been a lot of fun for me this year, and you're the reason why the Discord and the channel is such a pleasure to do. Anyway, see you, everyone. Take care.